Hi, this is Brian Forster, and today we're exploring the area of Paracas in Peru. And this is just a video to show you some of the sights that you can see if you decide to visit Paracas, which is about a 3.5-hour drive south of Lima. As you can tell, it's an incredibly desert environment. It's actually the northern extent of the Atacama Desert, which is mainly found in Chile. But there's a huge geoglyph here, which is part of the Nazca system. This geoglyph is called the Candelabra or the Candelabro, and it's now coming into view in the middle of the screen. It's approximately 500 feet tall, and as you can tell, it's called the Candelabro because that's what it looks like. However, the mystery is, what does it actually represent and how old is it? The best estimate is that it was made by the Paracas culture at least 2,000 to 2,500 years ago and is a navigational marker representing the Southern Cross, which rises right behind it. So that would mean that the ancient Paracas people, who of course had elongated heads, were a maritime voyaging people. And this is further evidenced by the fact that in the Paracas artifacts we find spondulus shell, which is only found off the coast of Ecuador, as well as emeralds, which also come from Ecuador. So that indicates that they were a seafaring people and that they used the Candelabro as a homing beacon. And now next we're heading to the Ballestas Islands, just off the coast of Paracas. Ballestas means arch in Spanish, and you're going to see the obvious reason why they're called that coming up. These islands are also the home of somewhere between 100,000 and 1 million seabirds. It's one of the most highly concentrated areas in the world for seabirds, as you can tell, and many, many different species, including boobies and seagulls, and as well, the smallest penguins in the world, called the Humboldt penguin. So there you can see the arches, which is again why the name Ballestas was chosen, probably by the early Spanish colonials to name these islands. And there we see the penguins. And we're going to zoom in to have a better look at them coming up. There you go. They're highly endangered, unfortunately, but there are other islands that are highly protected. No humans are allowed to go to them. And that's where I hope that there are many, many other of these little Humboldt penguins. The water is incredibly productive here. Again, it's one of the most productive areas of ocean on the planet. And there are many sea lions that live full-time in the Ballestas Islands. So that island in the background, every one of those little black dots is a seabird. So there are probably 50,000 of them there. And here again, you see just the great abundance of different birds. And as well, we're going to get some close-ups of some of the sea lions. So again, all those little dots you see in the background, those are seabirds. So the Ballestas Islands are about a half-hour boat ride from Paracas itself, which is home to the Senior Juan Navarro Museum that has a fine collection of elongated skulls for you to have a look at. And this is where we have the close-ups of the sea lions. Of course, they're so used to seeing people that they don't even notice that we're even looking at them. There are many boats that go there every day. Some people, oh, there's a baby on the right-hand side. Many, many boats go there. every day. And that's kind of sad for the sea life, but again, because so many boats go there, the birds and the sea lions, I think in general, don't even notice the presence of the boats. And it's a great educational thing for visitors and Peruvians alike. Now we're in the Paracas Preserve, and we're going to have a look at some of the beautiful sea cliffs that are located here in the Paracas Preserve. It's an absolutely massive wildlife reserve, I think more than 100 kilometers long, and it's a major place for bird migration. And here we are at another of the lookout viewpoints. And again, the spectacular Pacific Ocean as viewed inside the Paracas Reserve. The closest landmass off to the west is Easter Island, more than 2,000 miles away. We're now inland, about an hour from Paracas, and we're visiting Tambo, Colorado, which is an ancient Inca fortification, royal palace, and administrative center. You can see that it's all made of rough stone and adobe mud, because these are the only building or construction materials in this area, unlike the spectacular megalithic structures that you find in and around Cusco in Peru. Now we're walking up onto a ceremonial platform. I believe that Tambo, Colorado is one of the largest of the Inca sites, especially located on the coast of Peru. And it's on an ancient Inca road that connected the Paracas area with Cusco. And the modern highway is in fact built right on top of the Inca road. So that shows the masterful nature of the Inca builders. Their whole road, trail, and highway system at the time of Spanish conquest is estimated to have been about 40,000 kilometers in size, including two major roads, one on the coast of Peru and one inland in the highlands, that are parallel to one another and are connected by other roads. And again, the whole modern highway system of much of Peru is built right on top of the ancient Inca and even older road and trail systems. So now we're inside of Tambo, Colorado itself, and Tambo, Colorado means the colorful inn. And that's because you can see traces still of red coloration that used to be on all of the surfaces, as well as you see some yellow, and there is also some white. And later on in the video, you'll see some paintings of reconstructions of what Tambo, Colorado would have originally looked like. So again, it's all adobe brick construction with rough stone. You can see that the original surface there was skim coated, so it was originally very smooth. The site was abandoned almost 500 years ago when the Spanish entered and more or less destroyed the Incas and other civilizations of Peru. But thankfully, there's still some good evidence of this ancient and large Inca structure. Again, notice the colors. You can see yellow and you can see red, and in places you'll see traces of white. And here's our guide showing us the remains of an Inca bath. So there was running water at Tambo, Colorado. And now it's time to leave. So the last part of this little video will be of the museum located at Tambo, Colorado. So you can see the location of Tambo, Colorado there in relation to Pisco and Ica, Peru, and even Nazca. And in terms of timeline, from 8,000 years before Christ, all the way up through the Inca, and then into the colonial periods. And on a map, you can see Tambo, Colorado. The road goes all the way to what is called Vilcashuaman, and then on to Cusco itself. And here are some paintings of what Tambo, Colorado, the Inca palace, would have looked like during the Inca times. And finally, a map of the entire Inca world from southern Colombia in the north, down through Peru and Bolivia, and into Argentina and Chile. So thank you very much for watching. Here is a pertinent book at Amazon.com about Paracas, Beyond the Black Sea, the Mysterious Paracas of Peru. And as well, these are 2 upcoming tours for 2019 that you may be interested in coming with us. The Elongated Skulls Tour of Peru in August of 2019 from the 5th to the 14th. And then Turkey, September 2019, including, of course, Göbekli Tepe and the underground cities.